Your job is to do your job, not to worry about me. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I worry about me. You worry about yourself. You're gonna find out, though. You're gonna find out real quick. Promise that.
Take your seat and welcome to Hillsborough County Courthouse. This is 29-year-old Ronnie O'Neal, a prisoner at the Hillsborough County Jail. On March 28, 2019, O'Neal brutally killed his ex-girlfriend, Kenyatta Barron, and hacked their 9-year-old daughter, Ron Nevaeh, with an axe. He also stabbed their 8-year-old boy, who happened to survive. During the incident, Kenyatta managed to make a 911 call to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. O'Neal's voice could be heard in the background. Approximately 8 minutes after the 911 call, the sheriff's office received another call where O'Neal claimed that Kenyatta had tried to kill him and killed her in self-defense. He gave his address to the cops, who arrived at the scene only to find Kenyatta's lifeless body in the yard. While facing the court, the father of two was so angry at the jury and yelled as he spoke to them.
He talked about Mr. Khalil Brown, my neighbor who stayed across the street. But if Mr. Khalil Brown was a help to them proving me guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, they would have called Mr. Khalil Brown. But I called Mr. Khalil Brown to be a witness for me. And I didn't ask him to lie about one thing that he saw that night. I asked him to tell the jury exactly what he saw that night. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because he's playing a fraudulent damn recording of me beating Kenyatta Barron 15 damn times when that did not happen. And like I told you earlier, you will know the truth, whether in this trial or the next one. Better believe it.
O'Neal defended himself throughout the trial and even countered his son's claims that he stabbed him and tried to burn him. On the 23rd of July, 2023, Ronnie O'Neal was sentenced to 3 life terms without the possibility of parole. After the sentencing, O'Neal gave his closing arguments, which later turned into a courtroom outburst.
You've been hearing me for 2 weeks now, telling you that they committed criminal acts against me with the 911 calls and that fraudulent video that they just showed y'all. Now, I'm gonna prove it to you. You heard Khalil Brown. He said that he was actually sure that I only hit Kenyatta Barron 3 times. You heard it. I called him to tell you that. I ain't running from nothing. They didn't call Khalil Brown to tell you that. I did. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because I want you to know the actual facts. I did kill Kenyatta Barron. But I want you to tell it like it is if you're going to tell it.
Courtroom, you racist ass. Your courtroom, man. You racist as nigga, 22 years. You racist ass.
Our next stop is at the Lake County Court of Common Pleas in Ohio, where Manson Bryant is facing the judge after being charged with aggravated robbery and kidnapping. Bryant is no stranger to the Lake County Court, nor to the judge, as he has always been in and out of prison. The 32-year-old has an impressive criminal record, which dates back to 1999, when he was still a minor. On the 10th of July, 2018, Bryant, alongside 2 other males, invaded a home in Paynesville where they stole approximately $800, a gold nugget ring, a phone, and a MacBook. The trio were later charged with aggravated burglary, aggravated robbery, kidnapping, and abduction. While facing the judge on March 1st, Bryant showed remorse, hoping he could get a lesser sentence. He also blamed his actions on drugs and went on to talk about his respect for the judiciary. He pleaded with the judge to give him an opportunity to make something out of his life. However, when the judge handed down 22 years behind bars to the 32-year-old, he lost it and began to use profanities at the official. As a result, Judge Eugene Lucci added 6 more years to his sentence.
And therefore, the order of serving your prison time would be PRC time first, followed by the gun spec on count 1, followed by the gun spec on count 3, followed by count 1, followed by count 2, for a total of 22 years with credit for 231 days. The court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution.
Courtroom, you racist ass. Your courtroom, man. You racist as nigga, 22 years. Racist ass. Bullshit, man. Get out of here, man. Out of here, man.
Next, we go to Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court in Ohio. This is 24-year-old Robert Howse, who is currently being charged with aggravated burglary and aggravated robbery, among others. On the 13th of September, Howse broke into a woman's house in Gate Mills and pointed a gun at her. The brave woman ran away and locked herself in the bathroom, where she made a 911 call. The next day, former Cleveland NFL player Joe Juravicius had just finished eating dinner with his family when he observed a light on in the barn behind his home. Upon reaching the barn to check what was wrong, Howse pointed a gun at his head and forced him to open a safe. To avoid leaving any fingerprints behind, he wore the ex-NFL player's Super Bowl gloves. He stole a gun, alcohol, and camera equipment from the home while he requested cash. It was easy for the cops to track Howse down, as he had a GPS ankle monitor at the time of the robberies because he was on parole. This is what Joe Juravicius had to tell the court about the culprit.
Clearly, he didn't learn his lesson and was not rehabilitated, and I'm requesting that he receive the maximum sentence allowed by law. Unfortunately, my grandmother told me a long time ago, if you have nothing nice to say about somebody, don't say it, in your honor. At this point, I have nothing good to say.
Howse thought he'd get away with this one, or at least receive a short sentence. When the judge sentenced him to 46 years behind bars, he couldn't control his frustration.
Bullshit, man. Get out of here, man. Out of here, man.
It's been so hard.
Now, off to Orangeburg County Courthouse, where a grieving father made a scene during a court hearing. On the 14th of July, 2022, 22-year-old Lindley Jones was facing the court after being charged with the murder of Willie Antonio Fields, an 18-year-old. According to reports, Lindley murdered the 18-year-old on the 2nd of August, 2019. He shot the couple's son once in the head and 3 times in the back. Jones then pleaded guilty to the murder of the young boy. The court hearing turned into an event of dismay and chaos as the father punched the killer. Mr. Fields was holding on to his tear-filled wife as she was making a statement before the court. However, it seems he couldn't hold it off any longer and leaped to punch his son's murderer. The distraught father continued to hit the guilty murderer until they pulled him off.
Your Honor, I just want to let you know just what they took from me. They took away my only child. It's been so hard.
Nice cheap shot. You a coward. Nice cheap shot. You a coward.
Our last stop is at the Jefferson District County Court in Louisville, where a Kentucky man accused of triple murder is facing the court. Brice Rhodes is accused of shooting and killing a 40-year-old called Christopher Jones. He then killed two brothers, Larry Ordway and Maurice Gordon, because he feared they would tell police about his involvement in Jones' murder. Rhodes has little to no respect for the judiciary. In fact, he has a long record of outbursts during court hearings. During one of his pretrial hearings, Brice Rhodes cursed at Jefferson Circuit's Charles Cunningham. He was looking at the death penalty and wanted to change his attorney for the third time. The judge, however, tried to talk to him about the difficulties in finding another attorney, but Rhodes lashed out.
Your job is to do your job, not to worry about me. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I worry about me. You worry about yourself. You're gonna find out, though. You're gonna find out real quick. Promise that.
Thanks again for tuning in. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.